V-band clamps questions. Let's make an FAQ on this. So we have 20 questions to answer about V-bands. So first question, what is a V-band clamp and how does it work? Well, a V-band clamp is a new way of assembling your exhaust system. So before you had a flange with 2 or 3 bolts with the gaskets in between, and you bolt it together, and it's quite of a mission to keep everything in place while bolting it if you want just one person. So V-band clamp consists of 3 parts or 4 parts if you count the nut. So you have the 2 flanges which are welded on the tubing, and while these are welded together with the exhaust system tubing, you put the clamp over it. The clamp can be open, so you can fit it over the exhaust system like this, and then you put it over your flanges, the V-band flanges, and then you tighten the nut. So what is a V-band clamp and how does it work? This is how it works, and it's very, very simple, because when you tighten the nut, it will tighten the flanges together. Question number 2, what parts are included in a V-band assembly? This was previously answered already, but basically you have the 2 flanges, you have the clamp itself, and you have the nuts. And all these parts are available in different variations. This example of the Hurricane V-band, but there are different variations of the flanges, different variations of the clamp. You can have a quick connected clamp, you can have a conventional with a nut, and the nut are available in different versions as well. But basically this is what's included. Question number 3. When should you use a V-band clamp instead of a traditional bolted flanges? Well, that's a good question actually, but basically if you have a turbocharger with a bolted flange on it, which you can't change, use that bolted flange and weld your exhaust system to it. But when you need joints within the exhaust system, or where you can have the option to choose what joints to use these V-band flanges, because they're great. It's a very, very convenient way of assembling your exhaust system. And most turbochargers today actually have these on both the inlet and the outlet as an option. So use the V-band flanges where you can, and where it's already a bolted flange that you cannot change, that's where you use a bolted flange. So question number 4. What are the advantages of V-band clamps in turbo and exhaust system? Well, it's like I told you, I've written some down. So it's fast and easy removal during service, even clamping force, that's a good one. So the even clamping force is a great one, because when you're tightening this simple nut, it will clamp the flanges together evenly all the way around. So that's a good thing when using these. No bolts that loosen from heat or vibration, that's a good one as well, because the clamp itself is constructed so it's working as a pre-tension. So you have seen those on regular clamps where you have a tension band or something like this. This is built in within this, because the flanges within the clamp are V-shaped, and these are clamping the flanges together, but they also works as a spring. So when clamping it, they are almost like expanding a little bit, and the expansion want to go back, and this will, because of the conical shape of the V-band, it will push it together, which pushes on the bolt, which keeps it safe. So it's already with the spring tension. It's compact and lightweight, and of course it's excellent for your custom build. It's a perfect solution for your exhaust joints and other joints where you use stainless or mild steel material. So question number 5, how do you choose the correct V-band clamp size? So basically on these versions you have 2.5 inch here, and 2.5 inch clamps will fit the 2.5 inch flange, and the 2.5 inch flange will go to a 2.5 inch tube, and the tube is measured on the outside diameter. So it could be in the industry, it could be measured both inside and outside, but here we're measuring the outside, and the outside tubing would be named 2.5 inch, and that 2.5 inch outside diameter will fit this 2.5 inch V-band flange, because this is measured inside. So as long as the tube and the V-band is named 2.5 inch or anything else, it will fit. So 2.5 inch tube, 2.5 inch flange will fit together. 4 inch tube and a 4 inch flange will fit together, and so it goes. So question number 6, what materials are available and which are the best? So there's stainless steel and there's milled steel. So use the flange or the tube to match. So if you have a stainless steel exhaust, you use a stainless steel V-band, and if you have a mild steel exhaust, you use a mild steel flange. That's it. It's quite straightforward. And some say I have this kind of stainless steel tubing and this kind of steel in this and that. In the exhaust system, as long as you go with these two categories, mild steel or stainless steel, don't mix them if you don't really have to. As long as you're going with any of these, you're good. There are several kind of qualities, etc. And yes, of course, you should use the same quality, but it will work just perfectly fine. We've done this for the past 20 years, and it's not a real issue. If you're doing a really top end build, like a Titan exhaust or something like that, of course you should be more careful what you use, but stainless steel or milled steel, that's it. Use any of these. So question number 7, do you need a gasket between the flanges? No, not on the new type of flanges. So before there were bolted flanges, you have 2 bolted flanges with a gasket in between, and those surfaces were flat, and then you just I will go get one. We have the flange, we have some bolts, and this is a 2 bolted flange. It's the most common thing would be 3 bolt, but 2 bolts are common as well. So the flanges, the bolt flanges are flat, and in between these you use a gasket and you bolt these together. But the old V-band flanges were flat as these were, but you still had the clamp over it. Then another type of flange came, and it's the labyrinth flange, and it's a square flange where it fits the same way, but it could be more of a hassle to make it fit. This is not as tight tolerances, which can make it leak, and then it fits better. But if you make the tolerances finer, it will stay, it will not leak, but it will be harder to fit it while you have been welding your tubes on it. And this were an issue for many years. But then we came with the conical style, which is almost magnet-like, so it will fit perfect together. So the question number 7, do you need a gasket between the flanges? No, not anymore. You have the labyrinth seal, or you have this new conical seal, which is the preferred one from us. Question number 8. Can a V-band clamp be reused? Yes, that's the whole point. So you don't need a gasket. You can tighten it and you can assemble it and remove it as many times as you want to, because the function is made to be able to reuse it time after time. If you need to service something, you need to take away anything to see how it works or anything, you can use it as many times as you want. Question number 9. What are the requirements for flange surface and welding? So, well, the requirements are basically put the tubing up underneath your car or wherever you will mount it, put the flanges together and try to align it, and you tack weld it so it sits properly, and you tack weld all the flanges until you're ready to weld it all together. V-bands overall need to be welded in stages to not get warped. So question number 10. How tight should a V-band clamp be? Well, they say 8 to 12 newton-meters, but you tighten them so it feels good, because when you tighten them, if I clamp it by force like this is just enough. And when you do it hand tight and you put the nut on and you tighten the nut by hand, I'm pressing both the clamp and tightening the nut. Do it by hand, 2 turns more and you're done. You don't need anything more. So you can explain it as I did now, or you can say 8 to 12 newton meters, but I haven't seen anyone actually torque these with a tool. Question number 11. What are the most common installation mistakes? So, as I just told you, welding these too fast will make them warp. So make sure to number 1, tack weld them. Number 2, weld them a little bit at a time and have the clamp. That's a good one. So make sure to have the clamp tighten while you're welding them, because this is another way of aligning the clamp so it's really staying in place. That's basically it. It's pretty straightforward to assemble these. So what you can consider as well while fitting the tube would be try to fit it straight to the clamp and not in an angle, because if you put it in an angle you will have more of a turbulent connection. So try to keep the tubing straight in and out from the V-band. That's basically it. It's very straightforward. So question number 12. Are the V-band clamps street legal or for racing only? That's a good question, but basically as long as you're allowed to change anything on your car, you can use these. It's not a problem. So these are specifically great for motorsport and custom, because it's so easy to attach to exhaust system or incorporate to exhaust system. So they're good for any kind of use, street use, custom cars, motorsport, OEM actually use these. We used these back in the days for changing a bad connection with a bad bolted flange from an OEM car. So question number 13. What are the most common sized used? So basically we have from 1.25 inch, but the most common one are 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4 inch, because these are the range used mostly, but they are smaller and they are bigger available as well. Question number 14. How do V-bands handle heat and vibration? So basically these handle heat, all the heat you can throw at it, so other parts on your car will break before this kind of structure will break, because when it's welded in place, it will be good to go. You won't have any problem with it. Question number 15. What's the difference between quick release and standard V-band clamps? So the quick release ones I showed you earlier here, we have a different kind of structure here. So let's show you the difference. The quick release, you can you can just untighten the bolt, and you can use the quick release like that to get over the exhaust system, and then you can put it back over the flanges again. I can show you. So over the flanges and put the quick release, and then you can tighten it with the nuts, and you can untighten it with the nuts and take the quick release away. But it's basically the same thing with a non-quick release, but you have to tighten the nuts out all the way before you can open the clamp, put it over your exhaust system and over the flanges. So the quick release are quicker, but it depends on how often you feel you have the need to service it. So that are the two differences, the two different clamps, quick release clamp and the non-quick release clamp. Question number 16, can V-bands be used for intake or intercooler pipes? Yes, they can, if you're doing a stainless steel or a mild steel intake piping. But this is not that common, so intake are often aluminum, and then you would use the hurricane clamps instead. That's another video, but yes, of course they can be used in intake system or intercooler piping, but that's not a common thing because those pipes are in aluminum. Question number 17, are male and female flanges better than flat flanges? Yeah, we covered that before, that if you have a flat flange, you would need a gasket to seal, because if you have two flat flanges, it won't be a good enough seal, so it will leak in between these. So then you would need a gasket in between, and then you have 3 parts and 3 parts plus the bolts. Here you only have the 3 parts, which are simple to assemble, and then you have the conical seal, which makes the V-band tight, and the labyrinth seal is the same kind of thing, not as good as the conical one, but it's the same thing. It will keep the flanges sealed, and the exhaust system will not leak. So question number 7, are female or male flanges better than flat flanges? Yes, you should always use a V-band with some kind of conical or labyrinth seal. Question number 18, how should you maintain a V-band assembly? You don't have to maintain it at all. So basically you weld it on the exhaust piping, you clamp it with a V-band clamp, you lock the nuts, and you're good. Next time you need to do anything, you just remove it and you attach it again, remove it, attach it as many times as you want to. So of course you could lubricate it, service it, clean it, yes, but you don't actually need to, because it's as long the stainless steel one will last forever, I would say. So question number 19, which brands and qualities are recommended? So any trusted manufacturer. Well, we have these, of course we'll promote these because these actually are the best, because we developed the conical seat, and the conical seat are magnet-like fitment and it won't leak, period. This is great stuff. That's why we developed it. So go with it. You can go with any labyrinth seal V-band. You will be satisfied with it. Yes, you will, but if you want a better option for the same price or cheaper, maybe go with a labyrinth seal from Hurricane. Question number 20, how much does a complete V-band kit cost? Well, that's entirely depending on the distributor. So just Google it, and you will see the prices, and please compare the labyrinth seal with the labyrinth seal with the conical seal, and you will see the price change and see if it's more expensive or cheaper, and and you can make a decision from which one to get. But this, at least try it. Try it. Send it back if you're unhappy, because you won't be. So that's 20 questions about V-bands. I hope you got some information that could help you when installing V-bands in your exhaust system, or not installing V-band because you want the traditional bolted flanges. So hope it helped. Be sure to check the link in the description for more information. Thank you.